when it's after 15 or 20 minutes, when it's set up a little bit and it's good and it's still, you know, holding its shape, you just pull it off. On clubs, like I say, I'll put a reference up to in the coal shack or shed about, he made a big rope video, but okay, I'll just show you. Like say, I would do mainly tunics so that you don't show as much armor. This is that miniature that I made up for Clarky, a little paint scheme. So I'll just use that. Same general principle like he showed. Take you something to give you your background under your legs. So you just feel you're gonna just give you a good solid working space. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you're just putting something back here for your green stuff to stick to. So you got a little background there. Then what you do after whatever you put in there dries, just come back in. Say you wanted a nice little fold. Say keeping your tool wet. You just, like he shows, you just go into the corner, work in your fold. You want another fold going down, roll you up another little piece. So you want this one a little tighter. You just take it in, work it into position. Nice little piece there for a fold. Just work it in. You see, you start getting a little, you'll be a little, take your tool, just work it into position, join up the length. Like he showed, you can use an old paintbrush or something to help wet it, and gives you little folds. And like I say, he's standing in a pretty static position, so he would just be, you know, it would just be hanging straight down. The guy in Tool Shed, he showed how to do the chest places. So it's pretty much the same way. You just take your green stuff, work it in, gives you your nice little folds, and but with the chest, you pretty much the same way. You just take your little, like he said, take a little U, and since the chest is already pretty fleshed out, I wouldn't really go with making putting anything on the base. I would just go straight with the green stuff. Be real thin, and like pretty much like I showed with the fur, is work from the top. You get your corners in, and just as you work it down, just smooth it. Leave yourself some little divots for to show your details of your cloth. So you get to some place, you just trim off the excess, and when you get down to the belt, like he showed, just pin it in. Take your point and just work it into the belt loops, or the little belt, and it'll give you that. Like I say, you guys, this thing coming through my. I can't just get this thing to work for some reason today. It's being complaining on me. Now you really can't see this. It probably looks pretty bad. I'm just sort of butchering it here, trying to get everything done using this clay instead of green stuff. But you see, just don't be afraid to pull out the excess. Yeah, green stuff goes a long way, and you just, like I say, keep it good and wet. It'll smooth out fairly well. So basically, it'd be worked around his belt. And say it's not pretty, but like I say, this is just a little explanation of what's going on. But like I say, the green stuff's going to stretch pretty far. Another thing you can do is, like, spit right here where the eagle would have been. I like to leave it where it hangs a little bit, so when you start texturing or blending in the robe, that little neckline hanging down, especially coming out, it still leaves you a little bit of the bird visible, and gives you a nice shadow area under the helm, which really looks good. And because when you got a lot of flat area like that and a plain collar, it it takes away some of the detail you're losing. So it's good to add a little more extra detail into the cloth. Here, I can actually see this, and I've worked so much fur building these marines, it looks like fur. But with your green stuff, when you do run into actually all these things, just wet your tool, keep everything working smooth, use your, like this tool here is a little beveled point, works good for this nice flat back, it's really nice for smoothing. I picked these little molding tools up at a craft shop here in town. I live here in West Virginia, so if I can pick them up here, I mean, you guys in the larger areas can find all kind of nice little tools for working your green stuff. But